Alright, quick update on StepApp ticker symbol FITFI. So, since our last FITFI video, we have started to move to the downside, which is good because up here we were calling, since our last video, we were at 9.8 cent, and we were saying that in my opinion, it's very likely that we're going to move heavily to the downside, and it's more likely that we're going to find our bear market lows round about the 2 to 1 cent region. At this time of recording, my bearish price prediction, where I think FITFI is coming down to in the macro term, is unchanged. It is down here at 2.8 cent. Since the last video, we were here on the 27th of June, so it's been just over a week, coming up for 2 weeks now, that we were predicting this, and we've moved down about 18% so far. So far so good, but as you can see, I mean, we really had this move from the 27th down to the 30th. So we basically did this entire move in 3 days, and since then we've kind of just been crabbing sideways and not doing a whole lot of anything. So what do I have to update today? Well, at this moment in time, we have switched from a bullish stance over on the 4-hourly EMAs, and I'm pretty sure when we were recording this, we were just flipping bearish. We have flipped bearish. Since then, you can see you've got a high as you flipped bearish on the 4-hourly EMAs. You broke down, you had a very euphoric run back up to the upside. Nonetheless, this was a blow off top, this was a lower high, and when the candle bodies started to come into fruition, you basically rounded top, came beneath it, and ever since then, the 4-hourly EMAs have been plummeting. You did once again have another explosive pump. What do you notice about all of these pumps? They are a formation of lower highs over on the market structure. So really, I'm just giving you a quick update. I will be talking about the momentum indicators specifically. That's what I wanted to update you on, really. But just giving you a quick heads up, there's not a crazy amount of volume coming in. There's not a crazy amount of momentum going in. We're really just trending sideways and crabbing at this moment in time. But I am of the opinion that within the next 48 hours, if not the next 48 hours, within this week, I'm expecting Bitcoin to continue and have its next major leg to the downside. Now, as we did just have our FOMC minute meeting, should I say, because it's not like a proper FOMC meeting. You know, I've been sharing this over on my Twitter. If you do want to follow me over on Twitter, it is here at 618_cowboy. But if I can find the fractal, bear in mind these were the official FOMC meetings rather than the kind of intro to the FOMC minute meetings. Minute meetings are much less important than the FOMC meetings, but nonetheless, every time we've had these FOMC meetings, break down into it. The day of the FOMC, we pump. The next day, we dump. What do we do here? The day of the FOMC, we pump. The next day, we dump. And what do I think could be playing out for Bitcoin? Well, I believe we're going to dump tomorrow, no matter what. If that means that we pump up to our 618 fib up here at 21,100 in the short term, so be it. We could even see something like this, where you come up to this asymmetrical triangle where it's currently residing around about 21,000. If we do exceed that, we could see a move up to the 618 fib at 21,150. And if we get a rejection and move back beneath like 20,500, this would be a failed move equals a fast move in the opposite direction, where you temporarily move above or move outside of the asymmetrical triangle and break down. So, you know, why do you care? This is a FITFI video. Why am I talking about Bitcoin? Well, the matter of the fact is that FITFI and all these altcoins follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does not have its bounce today, if Bitcoin does not manage to exceed 21,100, we're very likely to once again have this fractal again and nuke to the downside for Bitcoin. What's this going to mean for FITFI? FITFI is very likely to finish this crab market to the side, and it's probably going to solidify just like when we came up to the EMA ribbons here. We came up here, we came up here, we actually crossed them here. So you know what, so be it. But nonetheless, the market structure is still to the downside over on the wicks up here. So I think it's very likely that if FITFI is going to move up, we could come up to, you know, the 4-hourly EMAs and then roll all the way back down. I really don't see us exceeding anything like 8.4 cent. And if anything, you know, I don't think that I really don't think it's good to hope that you're going to move back up into the EMA ribbons. I really think that we should be focusing on the macro moves, which is what I like to do on this channel. So macro time frame, as I've been saying since my last couple of videos, nothing has really changed. It does look like if we draw out this, if we draw a line of best fit going through these candle bodies here, this almost encompasses this wick and encompasses the candle bodies here. By the 9th of July, so within the next 3 days, the apex of this asymmetrical triangle is going to be in play, meaning that we would have broken down or up before then. Normally how these work is you break 70% through, or you break up or down when you are 70% of the way through the pattern. And this would be meaning, obviously this is an approximation, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way to measure it because it really doesn't matter, it's an approximation. Between the 7th and the 8th, my bet is tomorrow. Like I've been saying, a lot of signs are lining up for this fractal to play out over on Bitcoin. Bitcoin would capitulate in the next 24 to 48 hours, and subsequently, if FITFI starts to lose support around about that 7.9 cent, if we start to head back down, this is your last line in the sand. If we come over to the daily time frame, you'll see why. If I remove this, you can basically see we had this massive run up, and on this wick back down, this was your floor. Right here at 7.7 cent. This is such a huge level, and if we do break beneath it, I mean, you can see this was on the daily time frame. Within 3 days we nuked 36% of the way down to the downside, so be super cautious. I really do think we're getting ready for another nuke back down to the downside. In the most conservative target I could possibly draw from, this would be the 1.618 down here. I honestly think within the next, I want to say 48 hours, but I'm going to be conservative. Within the next 5 to 7 days, I think we're going to move down another 27% down to 5.8 cent. Once again, I'm really not too focused on calling what's going to happen today, what's going to happen tomorrow. Once again, on my channel, I like to call these larger momentum shifts to the downside. I am a momentum trader, and I am looking to get back into FITFI once I believe that we have a bottoming pattern, or we are flipping bullish above some of our higher time frame moving averages, such as the daily EMA ribbons, like right here on the daily time frame, 21-day moving average. This is the short-term moving average. Until we get above there, then I really do just think that we should be expecting more moves to the downside. Daily squeeze momentum indicators heading down. Like I said, there's really not a lot of volume coming in terms of the bulls or the bears, so we're really just crabbing sideways. We're getting ready to make that final move. And also, I have just noticed something as well. If we draw down to, let's draw down to the wicks. So if we do this, you will also notice that we have, and we're also going to have to draw this from the candle bodies, because we had a massive run on this wick up here, but nonetheless, this was a fake out, so you can discount it anyway. We've got a beautiful, almost beautiful head and shoulders pattern panning out right now on this chart. If we do get rid of this so we can see the price target, this would be yielding us a 3.6 cent FITFI. What does 3.6 cent line up with? Wow, you've actually got a 2.618 Fibonacci right down here. So there's going to be a lot of confluence right here. So technically speaking, your next level is down here at 3.7 cent, meaning from where we are right now, we should expect another 54% drop. And bear in mind, I'm not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow. This is going to play out in the next 2 to 4 weeks, in my opinion. But within the next week, 1.618 down here, 5.8 cent is going to be in play. So as promised, let's wrap up the video talking about the momentum indicators. We've already talked about the squeeze mon. This is massively heading to the downside. We really don't need to focus too much on the price action at the top of this chart, because this is what we've been through in this plain chart with not a high amount of oscillators or anything over here. So let's look at the MFI, the money flow indicator. And I think if we head down to the lower time frames, not a lot of people are buying the dip on this, which is obviously worrying if you are in FITFI. Myself, I'm really not in many altcoins right now. If you do watch my channel, if you're a seasoned veteran, you will know that I've been sitting on the sidelines for alts for months now. And I've been saying all of these alts are going to get nuked before the bottom is in. I really just think it's as simple as that. The squeeze momentum indicator on the 4-hourly time frame is heading to the downside, and this also, once again, is a worrying sign if you're in FITFI, because we're going to be colliding with the bottom of this asymmetrical triangle very soon. The money flow indicator is heading down at this moment in time. It doesn't seem like from these lows, no, we're not really seeing any type of strong divergence. Yeah, nothing. There might be a tiny bit, because you've actually got a but it's relatively flat. So I'm not even going to mention it on the 4-hourly time frame. There's really nothing to focus on with the divergence. However, over on the MACD on the 4-hourly time frame, much more interestingly, you are basically getting battered to the downside right now. We had a move back up to the upside while we were kind of trending back up after we found our local bottom down here at 7.2 cent. Since then, we've moved back up, we've come up to the heart line, and now you can see bearish momentum is stepping in. The MACD has crossed bearish on the lower time frames. All the lower time frames look pretty bad. Money is flowing out the market. The momentum is heading to the downside. Our MACD is also heading to the downside. Daily time frame massively heading down. The money flow indicator, or the money flow index, whatever you want to call it, it's technically the money flow index, but nonetheless it's an indicator, so it is what it is. But nonetheless, we're losing momentum. The MACD is losing momentum. This is bullish right now, but look at how much momentum we have holding up this trend. We are basically getting ready. Like, any big move can completely snap us back down to the downside, because we're literally hugging this right now like a magnet. And also, once again, money flow indicators just heading down, bouncing up, heading down, bouncing up. And I think we're going to be getting ready to head back down once again. Unfortunately, these have not been around for long enough, or FITFI has not been around for long enough for us to look at the higher time frames like the weekly. Looking at the hourly time frame is really degenerative. I'm really not a big fan of looking at the hourly time frame, especially when you're trending sideways. You can see it's basically completely flat, and once again, this really doesn't tell you anything. You've got breakdown, break up, breakdown, break up, breakdown, break up. But then you just look at the price and you're like, we're just trending sideways. So there's not a lot to see on the 1 hourly time frame. That is really all I've got for FITFI. Once again, do not be surprised if we have a move up in the next 24 hours. This would be hinging on Bitcoin moving up to 21,000, potentially 21,100. But I very much struggle to believe that if we do not head up today, that we would be heading up tomorrow. That's just my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball. Once again, I'm much better at predicting these higher time frame moves, which is why I absolutely do not say, within the next 10 hours, within the next 12 hours that we're going to do this and that. I'm very comfortable to say that even in the next day or so, if we come up, we will be heading back down in the next week. That is all I've got for FITFI. As we were over on my Twitter looking at the snapshots of the FOMC meeting, I might as well shamelessly shill this. If you do want to follow me over on Twitter, it is here at 618_cowboy. If you don't want to type that in over on Twitter, you will find the link in the description down below. If you do also want to join the Discord, the Cowboy Discord, we have over 800 members, so if you want to find that, it will be in the link down below. Also, if you follow me over on Twitter, you will see that it is my pinned link in the description. So I hope to see you over there. I hope to see you join the community if you're not already in there. That is all I've got for you today, my friends, for FITFI. And as always, Cowboy out. Peace.